plasterboard. Apart from that bit there. The this bit again.
Good morning everyone and welcome back to another video. So today, a Monday morning at the convent, and Simon and Yanis are cracking on with the ceiling in the hallway, and Simon has assured me that it's going to get all done today, isn't it, mate?
It will, don't worry. It'll all be done today.
They work really hard them too, so I trust them. And it's looking absolutely amazing. I'm really happy with the progress in this hallway. As soon as the ceiling's done, we're going to plaster this wall. I'm currently in the process of getting a price for installation for the aircon, which I've already purchased. I bought the equipment. Obviously a company needs to install it and sign off because it has gas and things like that, and we're not allowed to handle things like that. And then we can plaster that wall. Doors I need to finish. So I did have some beautiful brushes, but Simon and Yanis stole them and used them on the ceiling, which is fine. So I'll go down Brico and grab some new ones so I can continue with the osmoing. And Dad and Rick are upstairs doing some more demolition, taking more weight off the beautiful ceiling in the dining room. So let's crack on. Oh, and I forgot to mention, today is my son's Archibald's first day at school, so we're all really happy for him. So while I was in the UK with Gwen and the boys, I popped in B&Q and got some new brushes, because the brushes like these in the local builder's merchant aren't that good and they break really easily. And when we dismantled the organ in England, we went to B&Q and I bought exactly the same brush, and it's lasted for ages and we're still using it. So I thought, why not buy a couple more? So it's a bit of a present for Dad and Rick.
What a treat.
What a treat. And as you can see, what they're doing today is removing more of this mud infill and removing the larves, and most of the mud is going in the garden, so you know, it's sort of reusing it. It's good stuff though. And what's funny about this mud is that when it gets wet, things start growing from it, like really old seeds which have sort of been entombed within the mud, and they're resprouting. So probably 250-year-old seeds, which you can't actually see, are getting damp and sprouting. So all sorts of things are growing from it, which is quite interesting. But yeah, imagine like this small section of wall here, there's probably like 1.5 tons of weight on that. So removing that is saving the ceiling below, and so on. We need to do it to this entire floor, and you know, it will really help release the weight from the building and, you know, just make it more structurally sound.
And this is how it probably looked when the convent was built, right?
Yeah, it would have looked like this, but it would have been a lot tidier and the finish would have looked really nice. So you wouldn't have had all these cracks and things like that. And the whitewash on the beams would have been really, really white. Most of it's flaked off over the years. Obviously the floor would have been oak planks, and yeah, it would have looked really nice. It looks obviously a little bit, well, dilapidated just because of the age of it. And yeah, we've sort of removed a lot of, you know, different surfaces and layers to sort of reveal this era of the building essentially. Yeah, it's looking good. And these beams are all in really good condition. None of them are sagging. So it means that the weight on this floor hasn't affected, well, the weight above this floor hasn't affected the weight of these beams, only the ground floor or the first floor. Yep, I'm talking. Let's crack on. Aren't I, Rick?
Not at all.
Some people are going to wonder who this new handsome man is. So this is Juba.
Hello.
And he is from Paris. He's a hairdresser and he's a really good friend of Yanis's, and he's just popped into the convent this week to help and cut hair.
Yeah.
I think you need a haircut, don't you?
Desperately.
Simon does especially. I wonder if we can get Simon to have a haircut.
Like that.
Maybe just cut the ends a bit.
Yeah, a little trim.
Simon, do you want a haircut? Just the ends, yeah? Just the ends. You don't want it short, do you?
No, just trim. It needs to cut anyway.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
How much more?
Okay, about that much off. Oh, you're gonna look so handsome.
Oh no, I'm going to lose all my locks. How much is in there, Jan?
7 or 8.
Yeah, 8's alright.
Yeah. Yes, good.
Okay, good morning ladies and gentlemen. Back at the convent this morning. Me and Yanis are going to carry on with the ceiling. So when you're making plaster, it's a really good idea to keep things as clean as you can, because if we would just leave this, do the plaster and then come back to clean it, it's going to be a nightmare to get off. So ideally what you want to do really, as soon as you've mixed up the plaster, just clean the whisk off. Also as well, if you notice, my trowel, you can see on there, that's remnants of old plaster that just builds up. And the reason why I wet it down is, I'll just run a brush over it and it will soak that plaster that's on there. If I don't, when I take a scoop of new plaster and put it straight on there, it's got a good chance of sucking moisture out of the plaster that we've just put on there, and then it will go quite hard underneath. So if you see me wetting our hawks and also the trowel and that, that's why, just so that we get no suction out of the new plaster that we put on there. So just a little bit to explain to you. If you're thinking, why is he cleaning his hawk again, it's already clean, well that's the reason why. So I'll give this a clean, Jan, shall we? Okay.
Yes. Look at Opa.
Okay, so as you can see, we've done up to here. We're going to work on this section and move towards the door, the entrance door. Whatever we've mixed up here will be how far we'll get, and then we'll, like I say, we'll have to leave it then for a little bit for it to just start setting, and then we can go back and trail it all down. So, you ready, Jan?
Yes. Just a little clean.
Okay, good. If Yanis ever finishes. Come on, Yanis.
Yes, finish. Just this.
Oh, how did you get it on there, Yanis?
It's me.
Yeah, I know, everywhere you touch is f***ing plaster.
All the way.
It weren't me, was it?
Yeah.
Everywhere you touch, plaster.
No.
Yes, look.
It's not.
Let me see your hands. Oh yeah, look, ain't you. Give me that.
So I'm back osmoing again, and yeah, I've just got to keep doing coats, it's as simple as that. Obviously I wasn't here last week, otherwise they would be done. But I estimated if I did 3 coats on the back, 3 coats on the front, for 2 sets of doors, plus the frames, the transoms, it would take a month if I did 1 coat every day. Which is mad, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do just 2 coats on the front, which is the outside, and then 1 coat on the back. And once the room's finished, I'll do the last coat on the outside and the second coat on the inside, because it only really needs 2 coats on the inside, because it doesn't really get any, there's no water on the inside of the building like there is on the outside. And there's no like sunshine for like UV damage, because sun will bleach oak and turn it white. And the windows that we had installed, they're not French oak, they're like a European oak. It could be from somewhere in the east of Europe, and it's not as good quality, surprisingly. And the windows have got a different colour to the doors, which I wasn't expecting, and they've gone a lot whiter than they should do. So what I'm going to do at some point is I'm going to have to very, very gently, not sand them, use like a Scotch-Brite or something like that, just rough the surface a little bit, and you can get Osmo that tint, so you can get a slightly different tint colour. So I'm going to have to get in touch with Osmo and figure out what colour I could go for, and it will just tint it slightly enough so it matches the doors. Yeah, I just thought oak is oak, it's all going to be the same colour. Turns out that's not true. There's something about having all this natural wood in a building like this as well. It sort of brings nature inside, if that makes any sense. And having all these sort of natural surfaces, so oak, travertine, beautiful chestnut ceiling and things like that, and very neutral colours, it all feels very calming, which I wasn't expecting either. I'm not an interior designer. I don't really copy designs. I don't have anything in mind. I don't really go on Pinterest and things like that. I probably should, but I wasn't expecting it all to feel so nice and neutral and calming, natural. Just love it. So we're going to carry this colour scheme throughout the convent for now. So even in the hallway, it's going to be the same coloured walls. Dining room, we'll keep it the same colour. Library, I'm going to go a little bit more bolder with different deep reds and different colours and some greens and things like that. I'm not sure exactly at the moment, but the library will be different to the same colour scheme. But a lot of oak again, so it will feel nice. So I thought I'd just mention that and explain sort of the process. So Alex, I'm currently the cameraman again.
You are? How does it feel?
It's great.
Back to normal?
Back to normal.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd show you a little bit of the process, because can you hear me, everyone?
Oh, hopefully they can hear you.
Through your mic?
Through my microphone. I'll boost you in post.
Okay, so I just thought I'd show the setup, what goes
Yeah.
into it. So you're obviously editing throughout the day as well as filming.
Yeah, so it's now 11:30, so I try and film from whenever someone gets it, so 9 o'clock,
Yep.
up until about 11:30. I'll edit for maybe an hour, half an hour over lunch to try and edit everything from the morning.
Yep.
And then once that's edited, pretty much as soon as people finish lunch, I head straight down with them, film more, maybe 3:30. I'll
Yep.
kind of try to have a look at how much footage we've got, and then work maybe till 5:30, getting it all finished. And then to you, obviously, because I hand over then the project to Billy to do the
thumbnail title.
Yeah, and the upload as well. So, and when you're gone, it does take me probably another hour and a half longer in the day. So it's a big help.
So basically, other than your camera, you have an FX3.
Yes.
Which
It's just here, yeah.
which is just here, which used to belong to me,
Yeah.
which you sometimes fail to mention.
Mom baba.
So I actually lent that to Alex, and then he didn't give it back. It's a simple.
Yeah.
And then we came up with some sort of solution how you could own that.
Yes.
By filming some weekends.
Yeah.
Last time you were here.
Yeah, 2 months ago now, believe it or not. Yeah.
So Alex has now got his own FX3.
God blimey, it's a lovely camera, I must admit.
camera.
Yeah.
My main camera is this FX6.
Yes.
So FX6 with this amazing lens. So this is a 16 to 35 millimeter. It's in T-stop because it's a cinema lens, but it's actually 2.8 in f-stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually a cinema lens.
And it is power assisted zoom.
Power assisted zoom, yeah.
Which is absolutely fantastic. So all of the smooth zoom ins and outs that you see to help sort of make an interview more interesting. I go in and I go out. It's super smooth because it has this power assisted bit at the bottom.
So it's got built-in servos. So yeah, that is like a €12,000 setup. Then that combination.
At least.
At least, yeah, not including probably battery and not including
top handles, microphones.
yeah.
Oh my
Memory
gosh,
cards.
memory cards.
So we do put a lot of we have invested in the right equipment.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing we pride ourselves of being one of the higher quality YouTube channels, especially in the sort of area of renovation that we are on YouTube. We really do go all out to try and
If
produce.
it was up to me, I would have a 30 grand camera, 8K,
Yes.
and we do 8K videos every day, but I don't want to spend that money at the moment.
No, and it's a lot of risk to carry around. This is a building site after all, so it gets a bit dusty sometimes as the old camera.
And then we're using two studio displays.
Yep.
So we've got a pair of those, and you use one for preview and you use one for your timeline and media.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
You use Premiere Pro.
Yeah, so I use the Adobe editing suite, so it's called Creative Cloud. It's got Photoshop, which I think a lot of people will have heard of.
Yeah.
And then Premiere Pro is kind of like Photoshop, but for video.
And I use DaVinci Resolve Studio.
Yeah, which again is a really established piece of software, but people tend to either go one way or the other. It's similar to Windows and Apple, I think anyway.
And we edit, and I do everything on a MacBook Pro 16-inch M1 Max.
Yeah, it's amazing, absolutely amazing.
But it's an old computer now.
Yeah, what,
because
3, 4?
They have M3 Max now.
Yeah.
And you can get a lot more internal memory and things like that.
Yeah.
But they're so expensive.
But we use the Apple stuff just because it all works so beautifully together, and they're powerful and reliable, last many years. So that's why we choose
We
that.
don't have any drones up here, do we?
I've got one just under this computer here, but it's just my DJI Mini 4 Pro drone, which
I use a Inspire 2
Yeah,
or a...
which is like this big.
I don't use it on this property though.
No.
I use a Mavic 3 Sin.
Yeah, which again is still probably the similar size to this this camera here. So yeah, but again, amazing pieces of kit that we weren't able to get the shots that we've got without them. So
Exactly, yeah. All right then, mate, I'll let you edit.
yeah, thank you. Sorry if we've sent anyone to sleep as well, but we love this.
Me too. We are proper, we're pixel peepers, aren't we?
Pixel peepers,
Or
yeah.
Pixel pervert.
Oh yeah. Brilliant. So Simon,
Yes,
this is a special experience.
this is the Pefrix Barbers.
Is that what it is?
It is, yeah.
And when was the last time you said you had a man cut your hair?
I can't remember. Long time ago.
A long time.
Yeah. I have to normally go to hairdressers for women because obviously I've got long hair. But this guy behind me assures me he knows what he's doing and he can cut long hair. He said he's very professional from France. From Paris, sorry, not from France.
Sir,
Yes.
what color do you want?
Maybe some blonde highlights, eh? And a perm.
Okay.
A perm maybe? Curly?
Curly,
Yeah.
yes, of course. I will prepare for you.
I look like you then, huh?
Okay.
Phil's back, everyone, with the chairs. Phil's party, was a little bit of a washout, wasn't it, Phil?
It was a bit wet.
It was a bit wet, so we've got to clean the legs of the chairs because they're going to be a bit muddy. Yeah, I did offer to clean them when they came back. So Phil's got a lot to do, a lot of organisation, repacking up all his equipment and things like that. So he's not going to have time to go through 120 chairs. But we've got lots of hands, haven't we, Rick?
I've got 2.
Yeah, and there's Dad and Yanis and whoever else is here. So we thought we'd just all get on it, put them back in there as we clean them one by one. So yeah, rather than Phil doing it all alone. So
I was going to clean them before I put them in, but I had help to load them, and I wasn't going to turn down the to load it at the time.
No problem, mate. We're all here to help.
Did you raise the money you wanted to, Phil?
Well, I always want to raise more money, but I think we did about $2.5 grand for 2 different charities, so you can't really complain, especially given the weather.
And the Buy Me a Coffee for it is still open?
Yes, yeah, that is, yeah.
We'll put a link to the Buy Me a Coffee for the charity that Phil was raising money for. So yeah, we'll put it into the description of today's video. So we failed to mention that last week.
Better late than never.
Exactly, yeah. And it's going towards
the Motor Neuron Disease Association and Daze Rescue Centre.
Which is for rescuing
animals, dogs, cats, all the rest of it.
Brilliant.
So that's local, and the MND is worldwide.
Yeah. Awesome. You're a good man. Better man than I am.
I don't feel it right now.
Good man.
Good afternoon, Duncan.
Afternoon there, Al. How you doing,
You're
mate?
here again.
Yeah, mate, a bit of a late visit today, wasn't it? I was planning on coming tomorrow, but the job I was on finished a bit early, so I thought I'll come and see what was occurring.
Come and see your friends
Exactly,
at the convent.
yeah, see what I could do.
So what have you got on today, in all seriousness?
Well, I was heading down into the cab, the cellar, to look at the lighting, but Billy's got me putting some temporaries on for you at the moment. We're just we put a light bulb on the ceiling in the new dining area, isn't it? Dining room, sorry, and a socket as well, so we can plug stuff in there. And we're just going to try and liven this one up in the corridor. Well, I mean, this is a bit of a petty excuse for lighting, really, isn't it? I'm not sure. Yeah, that's it, mate. It's 500 lumens worth. It's not really going to cut it, is it? A bigger light bulb would be nice, but as a temporary, just on the circuit, just directly to the circuit breaker. There's no switching involved, mate. Just so when you come in, whenever, you can just have the lights on, kind of, rather than trying to work in the dark. You know.
And what was it you were supposed to be doing in the basement?
We're going to put 4 or 5 sort of bulkhead fittings, LED fittings in there. Just so you can get around in the basement area, really, isn't it? A bit of a last-minute idea. I mean, we need some power down there, at the minimum, don't we? So we can, in the future, do stuff. But by doing this lighting and maybe one socket, then that'll be it, really, won't it? That's all you're likely to need down there, mate.
Yeah,
and,
likely. For utilities or...
Well, yeah. And it's good ability to think of it at the time, because the stud is open still now. We can run wires easily now, can't we?
Yeah.
Not a problem, mate.
And that's half of your job, is, thinking ahead.
Well, that's it, yeah. I didn't message Billy about it the other day. I mean, he thought, we could have some lighting, so that's what we're going to do, mate. It's not mega hard, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll leave you to fit this impressive
Thank you, mate.
chandelier.
Yeah, it's not much of a job. It's more. I have 3 cables the other end, and they're not marked, so it'll be trial and error to see which one comes on. But
and you just lick them, is that?
No. Generally, I just turn them on, mate. It's all right.
Okay. Right, fair enough. Well, on that note,
I just advise people to stay away from the wires while I'm just doing that quickly, obviously, for safety, to make sure. Yeah, quick blip on and off sort of thing. So don't panic. It's all right.
I'll lock the dog up.
It'll be safe. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. See you, mate.
So Dad and Rick have been really busy today, and we estimate probably about 1.5 tons to 2 tons of rubble, and there's still some left over. Has been removed. So mainly mud and larves. Dad is obviously still collecting all the larves because it's fantastic kindling, and it's amazing to see all of this being exposed, which is really interesting. And it also gives me thought about the future room planning of the bedrooms. And I have a plan in mind. I have actually written it all down. I've got a design that I really like. So for every 3 of these rooms is going to be a bedroom and an ensuite. So quite large bedrooms with an equally quite nice large ensuite. So it'll be really good. And yeah, in fact, you know, the way the beams are sagging, it's actually helped us quite a lot, because we've now got a route through the center of the building for our waste, because we've got a huge cavity. So most of them are bowed probably by about 5 centimeters or 10 centimeters. And if you look below the concrete here, we've got quite a large cavity for services. So all this floor is going to come up, all the concrete. I'm leaving most of the mud just because it's great insulation. And on top of that, we'll put new joists all going that way. We'll pack them, new flooring, and then parquet or whatever over the top. It's going to be really good. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow.